Hello, what we're going to be showing you today is the shine behind effect. You'll be able to produce a video that has the shine behind effect. I'm going to ask that you include a sound effect in there, like a whoosh or a clunk, 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 or some sort of a sound that would represent the light going back and forth on the word. Let's go ahead and get to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to composition, new composition. When you launch the program, it's going to say, do you want a new composition? You're going to be like, yeah, sure, that sounds good. Okay, when you have your new composition, we're going to go down to this palette here. This is where you get your stack of items, kind of like in Photoshop and kind of like Premiere. The stuff that's towards the top is going to be the things that you see first. So the first thing I'm going to put on here is a solid. I'm going to use my pointer and I'm going to pick a black solid. So I have a black background. You could pick a different color if you wanted, but let's just go with a black one. At this point, you could put some different effects on the black background, but let's just go with black. That's just fine. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here. I'm going to put some text. On here, I suppose I could put any series of letters I chose, but in this case, let's go with that. Ooh, that is a nice one. Swanson. It's a bit too big, so I'll make it just a bit smaller. I used my character editing palette over here. I'm going to go to my arrow tool, my move tool, and or selection tool. I'm able to move it to the middle of the stage. At this point, you can stretch it out and make it smaller, bigger, or wider as you so choose. Okay, so I've got my word on there. You could put any word of your choosing. You can change the font color. You can go, let's make it a blue. I don't know, maybe, yeah, let's go blue. A nice colorful blue. You could leave it white if you wanted. Okay, what we're going to then do is we're going to click on that particular layer and we're going to go Control D. I'll do Control D once. I'll also do it another way. You can go to Edit, and you can go to Duplicate. And you'll see it's the same function. It's the shortcut is Control D. We have 3 layers because we're going to have one layer act as the base layer. We're going to have one layer act as the light. And then the third layer is going to act as like the solid that prevents the light from shining straight through. So it won't have light on either side it'll have light on either side of the letter rather than in the middle. Okay? Does that make sense? That's why we have 3 layers. What we're now going to do is I'm actually going to bump this one up to about 10 seconds. You'll see why in a minute. We're going to work on layer 2 to start with. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to your window and you're going to want to make sure that your effects and presets is available. What you go down to do is you will type in the word fast because there is 2 different presets that you're going to be using.
West Furious.
Find out. I'm going to grab CC Radio Fast Blur and Fast Blur. Yes. We're going to pull those down to layer 2. We're then going to see on layer 2 that we have these 2 within our effect control panel. One of the things I want to do first here is I'm going to make this more of a white, just to have more of a effect looking on there. I'm going to zoom this in just a scotch as well, I suppose. What we're going to do is I'm going to be using my blur so we can have it shine through just a little bit, and it doesn't look great like that, but let's do this one right like there, bringing it to 22, and I'm going to bring this amount up to about 75. Let's go 84 actually. 85 sounds good. First thing I'm going to do is on my radio fast blur is I'm going to move it over to the right. This is changing your center point. So the one that looks kind of like something James Bond would use. You can see.
That's not James Bond.
Yeah, it pulls over Halo or something.
That's not Halo.
Yes. You can see you can change your center point. What we're then going to do is set this as a keyframe. I'm going to start it from the left and go to the right. you can choose to start it up here and kind of have it pull over to there and then back up to the middle. Let's do that just for fun. So I'm going to set my point up to the upper left. I'm going to click on the stopwatch. That sets it as a keyframe. I'm going to go over on my timeline to, let's go to 4 seconds. And just to show you what I'm doing, I'm under effects. I'm on CC Radio Fast Blur. I'm changing the center point. What I will then do is I'm going to set a new keyframe over here. And you'll notice that the keyframe appears down here. So in the 4 seconds, your radio fast blur is going to go from there to there. And then I'm going to take another 2 seconds for it to go back to the center. Okay. At that point, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come back to this point. I'm going to set a keyframe of 85. I'm going to come to here. I'm going to set another keyframe at 85, and then I'm going to have, within the next second or so, I'm going to have it go up to 100. Additionally, I can go onto my fast blur. I'm going to set a keyframe here for my blurriness at 22, but in that second, I'm going to have the blurriness go up and then go about another second later and bring it down to 0. Okay? So what we've done is change the amount of the blurriness, and I suppose over here I'll come and bring my amount back down to 0. Okay? So just to play through, what I've done is I've had the light go from left, upper left, and it's going to take a second for the RAM preview. This button on the top right is RAM preview. If you hit the 0 key, or the, I believe it's actually the period, the decimal on the far right of the keyboard, it'll do a RAM preview. You'll notice that the green light, or the green line down here, what it does is it puts together the preview, it pre-renders it so that it'll play smoothly. And it's going to take a second, of course, stalling up for it to do the full RAM preview. What will happen though is that the light will go from left to right, back to center, go up, and then fade. Okay, and ooh, it rendered all the way through right quick. So here it goes. Wow.
Good job.
And then it fades to clear. Okay. I think this is something that you could do. After I finish up this video, I'm going to show you one other thing that you could do that's kind of cool. But you'll export this video, or you will put sound into After Effects. You'll have to use the RAM preview to be able to hear it. I'm going to ask that either you export the video and put it into Premiere Pro to put in the sound effect if you feel like you want to go that route, or you can do the sound within After Effects. You'll just add an audio layer by going File, Import, bring in your audio, and put it in there. Okay? Your end project should be about 10 seconds long. It's going to show this radio fast blur that looks like a shine behind when it's actually just a blur. It's not an actual light, it's just blurring the light, blurring the letter from behind. Okay? That's your project. I'll post that in Modo for you to take a look at.